Ladies and gentlemen, you guys gotta level up the new UGM-8. This thing is phenomenal. One of, if not the best light machine gun that you can use in Vanguard. Wouldn't say it's the best gun in the game, but this thing does pack a punch. You get so much ammo, such a high fire, and I believe this is actually one of the fastest killing guns in the game. With that said, I dropped you guys a nasty V2 rocket on Castle, and so if you want to see some V2 rocket gameplay, make sure you watch the gameplay. Shout out to these amazing people right here. If you want a shout out in my next video, leave a comment of your birth month. I'll go first. My birth month is November. Here's an overview of the class I was using in today's gameplay, and then if you guys want an overview of the secondary, here is the 1911, the Akimbo. Before we get into the class, if you guys could hit the like button down below, really helps me out in that YouTube algorithm. And if you are new and you want to see some of the best Vanguard content, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. But for the first attachment on the muzzle, I recommend you guys to add the recoil booster to increase that fire by 6.3%, which means we can kill the enemies 6% faster, and then we are losing a little bit of our recoil control, but it's only 3.7%, and you're not going to notice that. Say you want to run a suppressor on the weapon, I recommend doing the Mercury silencer because the damage range is so good that I don't really mind losing more of it, and then you get some sound suppression and recoil control, which is awesome. For the barrel, to increase that fire rate a little bit more and add some recoil control, make sure you guys are running the Bernard XL 214 736mm, which is going to increase the fire by 12.5%, bringing this thing to over 1,000 RPM, which is insane for a light machine gun. Plus, it's doing like 24 per shot, and I think if you shoot the enemies in like the center mass, it's actually going to be a 4-shot kill. We are also going to get some more recoil control, making it a lot easier to hit our shots in the enemy. This thing is going to be a beam. With that said, we are losing a decent amount of our mobility, but the overall mobility of this weapon is already pretty good, and so it's just going to make the weapon feel a little bit slower. Say you guys want to use a more high mobility UGM setup, I'll be making another video on this gun for a very high mobility setup that's actually very fun to use on the smaller maps. For the optic, you guys can run whichever optic you want. With this weapon, you gotta sit back a little bit. You can't really use it like a submachine gun, so if I were you, I would just use whichever optic you like the most. For me, I just like that slate reflector. It's a very clean, easy sight to use. What I also like to use is the G16. This is like my favorite scoped sight in the game. For the stock, so you guys got a couple different options. Say I'm playing on like a smaller map like DOS, Haas, or Shipping, or Mayhem, then I'm gonna run the remove stock just so I have a little bit more mobility, and you don't need that much recoil on these smaller maps. Say I'm playing on like a bigger map, like in today's gameplay we're playing on Castle, I'm probably gonna run the Bernard or the Formaled TAC YR, or I'm gonna run the Mercershire WT Inc. What the fuck are these names? Actually, I probably won't run this stock. The other two stocks that I like is this one because it gives you a lot of strafe speed, making it so you can just, strafe around the map super quick and fluidly. We are losing sprint to fire speed, but if you run the Gung Ho, it's literally not gonna matter. And then the Bernard is cool because you get a lot of initial recoil control, so if you're playing on the bigger maps, you can easily beam the enemies because there really isn't any recoil. Pretty much try out these three stocks and just use the one that you feel best with based on the map or just, the way that you play. On the proficiency, I believe in the gameplay, since I was running this stock on the proficiency, I was running the tight grip just for a little bit more recoil during sustained fire. Say I were to run this stock where I have a lot of straight speed but very slow sprint to fire speed, then I'm actually gonna run the Gung Ho just to max out that sprint to fire speed. What you guys can also do is the brace. This is just gonna give you a little bit more recoil right when you fire the weapon, but I recommend you guys to stay between the tight grip or the Gung Ho. For the kit, I think in the gameplay I was accidentally running the surplus, but I recommend you guys to run the fully loaded just so you have extra ammo. The on hand is also a good one, but I only really like to run this on the SMGs because it pretty much makes it so you can use your equipment and then you can pull out your weapon a little bit quicker, and so it helps you out more in those close range engagements. For the rear grip, we are going to be running the stipple grip tape because we don't have too many attachments. Yes, I know the stock is doing what the stipple is giving us, but it's always very nice to have almost zero recoil right when you fire the weapon, and so make sure you guys are running the stipple. For the magazine, it might get a little bit complicated in here because there genuinely is a decent amount of good options, but for me, I was really liking the 6.5mm Sakura 125 because it's going to increase that fire rate by a lot, and like our fire rate's already so high, and so this is just going to increase it way more, bringing this thing up to almost 1200 RPM, which I've never actually seen that on a light machine gun. The MG42 might have a magazine that does that, but I'm pretty sure this is the fastest firing light machine gun and actually the fastest killing light machine gun. Like, the vital damage is 36, giving you a consistent 3 to 2 shot kill. Plus on top of that, we get even more recoil control, and so you can really use this thing on those massive maps and just completely beam the enemies. You guys gotta try out this gun. On the ammo, so I really like to run the FMJ just because light machine guns are so good at wall banging the enemies. Like, they're really good at banging your enemies to the walls. So if you run the FMJ, it just makes the gun even more banging, but the bolt velocity isn't the best. Like, it's kind of lacking, especially because you can use this thing on big maps and shoot people across the map. So if you are doing that, you are gonna notice that slower bolt velocity, and so I like to do the lengthen just to bring it back up by a little bit. Preferably, I would like to have the bolt velocity past 1,000 meters per second, but 800 is somewhat close. Lastly, on the underbarrel, I like to do the hand stop just to eliminate a little bit more of that horizontal recoil control. In the future, this might change, but for now, I'm really liking that hand stop. Here's an overview of one of the best setups for the UGM-8, and just remember, there's a couple different things that you can change on the class, and it'll still be very good, like the stock and the proficiency. Okay, boys, we're on Castle. Really don't like this map, but it was this map or DOS House. We have so many gameplays on DOS House, so I'm trying to mix it up, and we are on Castle. Let's see if we can pop off with this nasty light machine gun that actually feels light. Like, this thing has a decent amount of mobility. I have another setup for this gun, but I only like to use it on like the small maps just because there's a little bit too much recoil. There we go. Oh my god, there's actually like 90 guys in here. Oh! Come on, shot. Why can't I slide? Okay, boys, it looks like we can't rush too much. We gotta like sit back, let the enemies come to us. You're watching this? There you go. Take you out. Any of your friends back there? Nope. I feel like I should turn on the Dude, they're just frozen. They are so still that I literally think they're fake. Like, they're actually all NPCs. I swear to God. Dude, yeah, I think I gotta throw on this forward intel. I like using piercing vision when I use light machine guns just because you can like wallbang anything. I just genuinely don't know where these guys are coming from. Could be a guy coming out of here unless he's being weird. The AFK? Dude, all these AFKs, they're so awkward. It is pretty fun to use these light machine guns when you got some enemies like this, though. Just because they're all... What the heck? They all just, like, flood into you. They're all in, like, packs, and you have so much ammo. Okay, there's a guy in that building, I think. Yeah, the arrow says he's above me, so he's in that building. I can probably wallbang him. What are you doing? Dude, these guys are actually NPCs. There we go, beaming. Beaming like bad boy beaming. Local reinforcements, that's gonna... Jesus, dude, of course he had a launcher. I almost threw down the munitions box there too. That would have screwed me over. Okay, hopefully I can get this nuke soon. It looks like my team might win this, honestly. Luckily, the enemy's got the patrol right now. I think I just seen a guy. Okay, wait. There's like 40 guys over here. Jesus, they're all just spawning there. I don't know what to do. Dude, it's so awkward. They're all just spawning over there and I have no ammo. Dude, there's no way they're all spawning over there. This is insane. I've never seen them spawn right there before. This is actually brand new. Never seen that in my life. 3 more kills for the nuke boys. Easiest nuke on earth. Like, literally, they're all NPCs. There we go, boys, and we got the nuke. Let's go, boys. Leave a like for that. That's probably my weirdest, worst gameplay I've ever gotten, but you know, we got the nuke, and a nuke is a nuke. It feels so awkward for some reason. I think it's just because I don't really use light machine guns. This gun, it kind of is like one of those guns where it has such a high fire rate and like such low recoil that it's honestly awkward to use. Definitely recommend leveling this weapon up. This is probably, I don't know if it's the best light machine gun, but it's a contender to be the best one. I really do like it. I want to show you guys my other setup, so I might do a future video on this gun, but with like the high mobility setup. That one feels a lot better because you can really rush with it. Jesus, boys. This piecing so satisfying. Oh my god, okay, I think we gotta calm this V2 rocket. Let's go, boys. Leave a like for that and subscriptions greatly appreciated. Let's go. AFK, you NPC. These guys were too stagnant. So awkward to play against. 52 kills. Oh my god, boys. We completely popped off. Highest kill game ever. Let's go. Cheers to that. 62 kills and 7 deaths. Let's go. Get nuked, motherfuckers.